Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, where it's all about creating the life you want, the business you want, and making a real difference. Join us in unlocking the code to true success. And now your host, Tony Caliendo, Master Coach with reTHINK Coaching.
Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, episode number 20. I'm Tony Caliendo, Master Coach here at reTHINK Coaching. And as always, thank you for sharing your time with me today. Today, I want to talk about beliefs and thoughts. And I know we've spent a bit of time, if you are just joining me recently on this podcast, we spent quite a bit of time talking about thoughts. So if you need a refresh, go back to episode number 1. But we talk about how thoughts impact our feelings, actions, and ultimately thoughts drive every result that we have. Today, I want to talk about beliefs because thoughts and beliefs are related or married. A belief is just a thought that you've had over and over and over, or it's a belief that you've taken on through somebody else. So it's almost like it's inherited or it's been given to you. And so I want you to think about that for a minute. A lot of the beliefs that we hold on to were created by our environment, our parents, our culture, our religion, our neighborhoods, our friends, etc. But the bulk of it comes from your family and your parents. And I'm not saying, hey, your parents are responsible for everything that's going on in your life. But in this instance, your beliefs are really formed at an early age, and they are really ingrained from childhood. So it makes sense that our parents gave us some of our beliefs. Now, some of them are great, and some of them are beliefs that are no longer serving you. And so it's not right or wrong, and it's not about making your parents right or wrong. It's just about us taking a moment and actually taking the time to analyze what our true beliefs are. So I don't know about you, but I was never taught to question or challenge beliefs. I was raised as a very religious Catholic person. You just believed in what was taught to you. My parents were very devout Catholics. So all of those beliefs were just given to us. And we were never really taught that it was okay to question a belief, that you didn't have to hold on to it just because somebody told you it was the right thing to do. So if you think about that, beliefs can be passed on from generation to generation to generation. I mean, if we got our beliefs from our parents, where did they get their beliefs? Most likely their parents, and their parents from their parents, and so on and so on. So some of the beliefs that we have been ingrained with or that we're holding on to on an unconscious level may actually be old beliefs that just don't serve you anymore. So today I want to talk about thoughts and beliefs, and I want to talk about the incredible thing that we all have the opportunity to create the beliefs that we want to create, and keep some of the ones that we have and dismiss ones that we have that are no longer serving you. Beliefs are like a lot of things in life. It happens somewhat on autopilot. Again, unless this is something you've done in the past, most people haven't taken a time to truly sit with and identify what their current beliefs are, and then to strategize and be intentional about those beliefs in terms of sifting out and adding to. So if you haven't, this is going to be a great podcast for you to listen to, because I'm going to teach you that you can create beliefs that you desire and that are going to get you to the ultimate result and goal in life that you have, and that you have the right to eliminate or rewrite some of those beliefs that were given to you. So for me, I consider myself very fortunate. My parents were amazing, and they did their best job that they could raising the three of us. I have 2 siblings, 2 sisters. I'm the youngest. And my parents were children during the Depression. And so they experienced some things around money and scarcity that stuck with them for a while. And it stuck really with them until the day that they both passed. And those were ingrained beliefs that both their parents most likely shared with them, and that unfortunately my parents had to experience as young children. And so they shared those beliefs with us. I can recall having a lot of conversations with my mom in particular that I always wanted a bigger life. And it's not that she made me want to feel bad about that. However, her belief was you should be grateful for what you have. And if you are going to get more, it's not necessarily up to you. That you should just be grateful that you have a roof over your head, food to eat, and a car to drive, and clothes. And that was enough for them. And that's what they believed in. And they also felt they were raised in a part of town that was very ethnic, and they were raised in a part of town that was very Italian, and tight knit community. And there was some, they were first generation immigrants from Italy. And there were some beliefs around their ability to be successful and their belief around they had a place in the world. And I can remember hearing my mom say, and my dad, for a matter of fact, saying, we're just not those people. And they would tend to say that when I was pushing the limits and wanting to live a bigger life than what we were experiencing, and that I might be getting frustrated that I wasn't able to do it. And that was their belief, that we just weren't those kind of people. They also, again, because they believed in a very scarcity mindset, they believed that you would run out of money. They would constantly say, we can't afford that. We don't have the money. You really shouldn't buy that. It's too expensive. We don't need that brand. We can get this, or that will last another year. You don't need to spend money on that right now. They had the belief that if you spent the money, you would never get it back. So they were very, again, scarcity mindset, that if you spent money that you had saved, you weren't ever going to get it back. You were losing it. So you can imagine that those beliefs followed me around for quite a while. And if I'm being really honest, even with all of the work I've done and all of the thought work that I have done, they still hang out in my head. It's one of those things, I think, that'll be with you until the day that you close your eyes for the last time, that will come up and bubble up because it's been so ingrained, and there's a neural pathway carved in your brain that supports those beliefs and those thoughts. So here's a great thing. We get to change what we believe. And we get to choose what we want to take from the old beliefs and hang on to those, and eliminate some of those other beliefs. I wish I could say delete and eliminate permanently, but again, they're going to bubble up. It's just called life. But we do have the ability to create the beliefs that we want. And so, again, if a belief is either given to us, or it is because we've had a thought over and over and over and it becomes a belief. So, an example of that might be a belief of being poor. If you have the thought over and over, I'm poor, I'm poor, I'm poor, or if you have the thought over and over and over, I don't make enough money, I don't make enough money, I don't make enough money, eventually you're going to hold on to and create a belief that you're poor or that you don't have enough money. Conversely, you can do the same thing about being wealthy. However, we tend to focus on the negative. And I don't know why that is. We just do. If you remember from an earlier podcast, we talked about this. If a belief is a thought that you have over and over and over, all right, and the majority of our thoughts are negative. So I think it's a National Science Foundation did the research for us and said we have approximately 60,000 thoughts a day, 80% are negative and 95% are repetitive. I'll say that again, 60,000 thoughts a day, 80% or 48,000 of those thoughts are negative, and 95% of those thoughts are repetitive, meaning we've carried them forward day after day, week after week, year after year. And so if thoughts become beliefs, and the majority of our thoughts, if we are not strategic and intentional, are negative, it makes sense sometimes why we have a negative belief system about what we're able to do. And I know whatever you believe in is what you get. And so if we're not intentional about this, if we're holding on to old negative beliefs, if we're creating new negative beliefs, you're going to get what you believe in. And so I want to spend some time talking about the fact that it's such a gift that we get to choose our belief and the beliefs that we want to have that will get us to where we truly want to be. There's one thing that I do that this is just a me thing, and it may not be a you thing, but I when I start to question my value or worth or my beliefs, I have to stop and remember that I was created. Some people call it universal intelligence. I call it God, the universe, higher power, whatever you relate to. I remind myself that I was created by God and that my value was predetermined. And the same thing that created the incredible world we live in with all of the amazing things, that same power is exactly the power that created me. And therefore, I believe that my value was predetermined and it was pretty high. It's all the other crap that I allow to infiltrate into my brain that drags my beliefs down and had me or will have me at times believe I'm not worthy. I'm not capable. I'm not that person. Some of those old beliefs continue to come up. And if you're like me, which the majority of us are, not saying people are all like me, but I'm just saying in this instance, we tend to have those thoughts and those beliefs come up. Oh, I don't know, about 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning for me is my magic hour that I wake up and I let all of those crazy negative thoughts flow through my head and create and impact my beliefs. Those thoughts at 3 o'clock in the morning are impacting my beliefs, which are going to guide me through my next day, my next week, my next year. So I want us to own the fact that we can create whatever belief that we want, and you're going to get what you believe. That's the coolest thing ever. We talk about this. We talk about thoughts create all results. We talk about how you have control over your thoughts. We talk about a lot of that. And I love that. I love knowing that, yes, we have somewhat some limitations, right? But those are the limitations that we impose on ourselves. I firmly believe you can have whatever it is that you want to have. And our beliefs, whatever you believe in, is what you're going to get. So why not believe in something pretty amazing? So how do you change your beliefs? I learned about this great 3-step process to change your beliefs, and it starts with something really, really simple. You got to identify what you currently believe in. And it may be painful. It may be like, gosh, do I really, really believe in that? And you really must sit with this and honor what your current beliefs are. Again, a lot of this is happening on autopilot. A lot of this is happening on an unconscious level, and it does not give you permission to ignore it. So the first step in creating the beliefs that you want to have is to figure out what your current beliefs are and to really allow that to happen. This is not defining you. This is just helping you understand, what have I been holding on to and what are the beliefs that I walk around with that are driving my success or my limitations in life and business. So, a few questions to ask yourself when you're trying to conjure up what are your current beliefs is really just to ask yourself, what do I believe about myself? And sit with that. Reminder for me, it was, we're not those people. That was a belief. What do you believe about your life? What's possible? What do you believe about the people in your environment, in your world? What do you believe about what has happened to you or your past? What do you believe is your capacity in the future? Do you know why you believe this? So again, for me, if I had not worked on my thoughts and my beliefs, I would not be living the life that I get the privilege of living, because I was taught the belief was just be grateful for what's given to you. Just be grateful for what you get. If it's enough to put a roof over your head, enough to put food on the table, then that's what you were destined to have. That was the belief. So for me, I had to really work on what's the capacity of my future. And that might be something that you've got to spend some time on as well. So those 5 questions are incredibly powerful for you to sit with. That helps you get real and get right with your current belief system. Step 2, you get to decide what you want to believe. This is the really fun part. You have the opportunity to create the beliefs that you desire and the beliefs that you want to have. So a very simple question to ask yourself is, what do you want to believe? And is your current thought serving you? So in my case, I truly wanted to believe that I could live a life by intention and not by default, that I could live an incredibly abundant life. I could create that versus accept what was given to me. And my belief had to change that that wasn't an insult to God. My belief had to change to honor that I truly feel I can have whatever I want. And so I do want you to spend some time with that. What do you want to believe? Both about yourself, about your life, about the people in your life, about the people you want in your life or your world, and about your capacity for the future. This is such a fun place to be because this is what I see to be true. If a belief is a thought that you have over and over and over and over, if you change your beliefs, I firmly believe, if you will, that you're going to be able to change your thought patterns because they're connected, right? I have the same thought over and over and over. It creates a belief. If I intentionally select a belief that I want, it's going to impact automatically the thoughts that I have. So spend some time creating the belief that you want. Now, here's what I'm going to caution a little about. Make your new beliefs realistic and believable. Make them a stretch, make them be something that excites you, but don't swing so far over that it is unrealistic and that you set yourself up for some failure, right? So find a belief that you believe in and strive for it, and you can always, change it. So just an example would be if you're making consistently $100,000 a year and you want to hold the belief that you're going to make 10 million a year, that's a bit of a stretch. Now, can we believe we're going to make $1 million a year? Yes. And then once we get to that point, can we change our beliefs to believe that we can make more? 100%. But make your beliefs believable, not easy. They should make you a little uncomfortable. They should excite the holy heck out of you about what you can create for yourself in the future. So step number 3 is just practice believing. Just practice believing that it's possible and that you are going to achieve what you believe. Make it almost second nature. So when you believe in something enough, it's as good as done. And so we can't just believe about it once. You can't do this exercise and go, oh, I got my new beliefs. I'm done. Now it's going to come true. You've got to believe in that belief and you've got to practice it daily, weekly, sometimes hourly, sometimes by the moment. But we need to, and I say need, you must practice believing. And rather than defaulting to any negative thoughts or negative beliefs, repeat your new thoughts and your new beliefs over and over. There is a great app out there that I use called Think Up. It's orange. It looks like a little, I think it looks like a little wheat flour, but it allows you to record affirmations, thoughts in your own words. All right. And you can have it set to some great music that they have selected, or you can do your own music. And this is a way that I practice my thoughts and my beliefs over and over. I'm going to give you some advice on this step because this is really critical. Number 1, you're identifying what you currently believe. Number 2, you're casting your vision on what you want to believe. And number 3, you're bringing it to life. And so you can't just do this. It's not one and done. I came up with my new belief. Hallelujah. I'm done. I'm moving on. And it's just going to happen. We've got to do this repeatedly over and over and over again. If you believe in something enough, it's truly as good as done. So what I'm going to recommend that you do is journal. Journal, journal, journal. What is your belief? Write it out. And I am old school. I am a believer in pen and paper. You see, when I journal, or if I was going to write out my new beliefs, a couple things are happening. I'm thinking it, I'm writing it. So now I'm also seeing it on paper. So I've thought it and I've seen it. Now I want to practice saying it so I can hear it in my voice and I can also hear it and take it in. The app Think Up allows me to record whatever I want. This would be something that I would do because, again, when you believe it enough, it's as good as done. So you might have to record that belief. So now you've seen it, you've written it, you've heard it, and you get to experience it over and over and over. And it's going to create a new sense of energy over you when you practice it. So I can't stress it enough. I really can't stress it enough that you must practice. And you must hold on to that belief, because you see, your old beliefs that you have that were happening consciously and unconsciously have brought you to exactly where you are. And if you don't love where you are, or you like it and you want it to be different, you got to change your beliefs and you got to change your thoughts. So episode 1 of this podcast series teaches you how to change your thoughts. This episode addresses that marriage of thoughts and beliefs. So do yourself a favor and practice, practice, practice. Okay, team, I really do value you. And I'm going to ask that you listen to this podcast multiple times, not from an ego perspective, because I want you to hear my phenomenal voice over and over and over. I want you to get this message. I want you to get the fact that you are where you are because of the beliefs you currently have. You are where you are because of the beliefs that you are holding onto. You are where you are because you were programmed with certain beliefs from a very young age. And unless we start to do some elimination and removing and replacing, in 10 years, you're going to be exactly where you are now, just a little bit older. We can't change where we're headed if we do not change our beliefs. In addition, and I say this all of the time, and I mean it, we can't think or believe our way into abundant wealth. Okay. So I know there's a great book out there that we've all read that led us to believe that you could just manifest whatever you want. I believe that's true. I believe our thoughts and I believe our beliefs can help us get there. It's a portion of our overall success, but you must take action. And step 3 in this exercise about rewriting and recreating your beliefs is all about taking action, bringing those beliefs to life. So if you have any questions or you need some guidance on this, or if you're just really stuck, I think sometimes if we are wanting to release some things that were given to us by our parents, our relatives, our culture, our religion, our environment, sometimes we might struggle with turning our back on those that were or are incredibly important to us. And if you're having that challenge, please reach out. We're here to help you out. I am here to help you out. I personally went through that where I really struggled with me forming these new beliefs. I really had to get comfortable with the fact that it was very different than the way that I was raised. It was very different than the way my parents were raised. It was very different than the culture in which they grew up in. And I had to make peace with the fact that I wasn't turning my back on it, that those beliefs served me for a very long time. And now it was my turn to create the beliefs that were going to get me to where I wanted to be. And in fact, by doing that, it was breaking some cycles. It was breaking some limitations. It was changing things for generations that are going to come after me, which is so important to me to show that it's really possible to do whatever you want to do and to live by the beliefs that serve you. So please be careful with this exercise. Pick beliefs that serve you. Pick beliefs that are good for others as well. We cannot have a belief that is so self-centered that it harms others on the way to getting here. So spend some time working on this. It's really going to serve you well, because remember, whatever you believe in enough is what you're going to get, and it's as good as done. So just make sure that the beliefs that you're creating have a ripple effect or a ripple impact on everything and everybody around you in a manner in which it's going to be beneficial and it's going to lift people around you as well as yourself. I appreciate you being here. I cannot wait to hear some of the comments. I can't wait to hear some of the thoughts and stories that you're holding on to. Shoot me an email, tony@rethinkcoaching.com. Shoot me a message on Instagram, Tony M. like Martin Caliendo is my Instagram handle. I'd love to hear from you guys, and I'd love to hear from you what you're learning from today's podcast and other podcasts you listen to. And I'm always here to support you any way I can. We'll see you next week. Go make it a good one. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you must come check out the Mindset Architect Group Coaching Program. It's our monthly program where we explore the power of your mindset, help you identify what you truly want in business and life, and then help you reach those goals. Come check us out at rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. That's rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. We'll see you there.